The title is Strategic Power of DevRel and from Community to Business Impact. And a little bit of a shame it's on the end of day 2 because I think this is a really amazing panel for all of you that are interested in all things developers, especially developer relations, developer advocates, developer marketing, if you will. We can talk about it. Evangelism, of course. I have a great panel. I'll let them introduce themselves a little bit. You probably guys don't have to introduce your companies too much because I'm pretty sure everyone here knows about it, but just a few sentences about yourself. Like DevRel is often like hyped, sometimes misunderstood. It's something that brings, you know, engagement. Some people, I've heard some commentaries saying it's like, you know, marketing in a hoodie, so we can discuss about that as well. But really have, I have industry, I'm there to say industry leaders, and then we can discuss what's going to happen in the future, what's good in DevRel, what's bad, what works, what doesn't work. Anyways, should we start here, Emilia, from your side?
Yeah, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us. Emilio Salvador. I'm the VP of Developer Relations at GitLab. I've been spending the last 20 years working with developers at Microsoft, Google, AWS, and joined GitLab like 3 years ago. I'm extremely passionate about the topic. It's developer relations, developer advocacy, developer evangelism, as you said before. It's sometimes a controversial topic, but I think it's fundamental for any tech company to be successful, to build that muscle with developers.
Awesome, thank you. Angie.
Yeah, Angie Jones. I am the Global VP of Developer Relations at Block, and I have been an engineer for all of my adult life, and then moved into developer relations several years ago as an IC, and am now running a DevRel org.
Thank you. Ignacio.
Yeah, my name is Ignacio. I do the same, managing developer relations for Red Hat, now part of group of IBM. Also doing developer activities for the last 25 years in Microsoft, AWS, a bit of following the path of Emilio since we started working together 20 years ago in Madrid.
Awesome. So DevRel is often seen like as a nice to have. We were discussing before, I had a lot of, let's call them boardroom fights about the importance of it. How do you guys make it and maintaining it relevant in terms of strategy as well within your companies? Is that, how do you solve that challenge? Who wants to take it?
I say if it depends on the company, right? So if the products you have are not developer facing, then yeah, probably is a nice to have, right? And I've seen where companies adopt DevRel because they figure, oh, this is the great thing to do. Everybody else is finding such a great success, but that doesn't really match like what it is that your product is. For companies that are developer facing, your products are developer facing, you have APIs or SDKs or developer tooling, then I think DevRel is essential to your business strategy, right? And so my DevRel folks, they all engage with developers. They are not just talking at them, they are talking with them. They are a part of that community. They are well respected, whether they work for my company or not. They are known, and that brings such value to our company.
Ignacio, Emilio, anything to add?
Yeah, the only thing is that a lot of times companies go as a pendulum. So they consider that, yeah, I need developers now. Then 2 years later, I don't need any more developers, or I struggle with sales, and I decide that I am going to reinvest all the money that I was using here for developers in sales. So you need to be consistent. You are asking developers to invest their time to learn your technology, and then 2 years later, you are going to disappear. So think seriously if you are going to be serious about developers, because then developers need to be serious about you.
Thank you. Emilio?
Yeah, and to your point earlier, is that the challenge there is that how do you really measure the impact of developer relations when it comes down to big companies or even smaller companies? Consistency is key. Developers are key to adoption, and it should be like a long-term bet. Is that one of those marketing quotes when people know that I know that 50% of my marketing budget works, I just don't know what 50%. So developer relations in some cases is a little bit of that, but it's like they are key to adoption of any technology, and more so than ever before.
As a quick follow-up, I guess for all of you as well, how do you guys measure success within your teams and your departments? And that's maybe we get different answers. It's interesting to see.
I've seen many different answers to that question, and I think it depends on the role of developer relations. What I've seen across different companies that in some cases they've play like an outbound role, and in many cases companies use like marketing metrics as a proxy to success. In some other cases I see that as an inbound activity, and it's more about how much influence you have in the product and how many of those new capabilities influence revenue. Eventually, one of the things that I keep insisting on is that you need to attach yourself to the business and the business metrics, even if it is just as a proxy, because that's the only way that you will eventually prove that you bring value back to the business.
Angie, Ignacio, do you guys agree?
Yes, the only thing that I would add is check with the CEO what he cares about, okay? Because there are plenty of different options. You can measure with engagement, you can measure with revenue, you can measure with just adoption. So ask the CEO what he thinks is the most important one and follow.
Awesome. But and you guys, for maybe the folks in the audience as well here, how does, in your companies prospectively, how does actually, if we focus on sales, what you said on revenue, if you look at these metrics, how does DevRel drive revenue within your departments and your companies? Angie, maybe.
Yeah, I think there's a misconception about like looking at DevRel function to be the closer of deals, and that's not what it is, right? I think that we influence the pipeline heavily from the top of the funnel with awareness all the way through with nurturing and providing content and enablement, and now your product has become sticky because of DevRel. And then you basically warm them up for a sales and marketing type of situation. But when folks look at DevRel or even put those types of metrics on them, I think that that's a mistake. I think the goals are misaligned. They conflict with each other actually, because if I'm just trying to get you to buy my product, I'm not talking to you in a genuine way. And I think that that's one of the values of DevRel, is that we can have an honest conversation. And because of that, you're going to trust me and trust the product. If you ask me, can it do something, I might be very honest and say, no, it sucks at that. Go use the competing tool, right? Because that's better for your circumstance and your scenario. But right there, I've just built trust with that developer.
Emilio, Ignacio, do you guys?
Yeah, the only thing that I would add there is we used to have the problem of empty clusters, okay? So at Red Hat, we sell to operators. Yeah, great, you make the sale, the people sign the check. The problem is if no developers create their app for the platform, then the platform is empty. So again, you need to make the connection between, do you want a platform or do you want an empty platform? If you want an empty platform, yeah, go and talk with the people that is going to sign the check. If you want a platform and people using the platform, talk to the developers.
Emilio, your experience?
Yeah, my experience is, especially with developers, to your point, we can connect DevRel to revenue. There's a loose connection though, right? Developer relations influences revenue, right? The way you interact with the community, the way you interact with customers eventually will lead to stronger customer relations and revenue. The trick here is that how do you establish that connection? Because otherwise, love is great, and love from the community is amazing, but that doesn't pay the bills.
That's right. And even retention, right? So getting developers in, you've closed the deal. DevRel is still there with that customer. After you've gotten your check, we're still there building rapport and making sure that they're getting their needs met.
So I think part of my next question, this is a great segue, is like you guys, I mean, you think that, I mean, it's not revenue for sure then. Should DevRel be in product? Should it be in marketing? It's a bit of a controversial question. Or should it be neither, probably, is what I'm getting there.
I've seen them all, honestly, across, I mean, those big companies. I think it depends on what your main mission is. If your goal is to drive awareness and developer mindshare, you want DevRel to be part of marketing because marketing has the budget and the tools to drive a scale. if your goal is to make better products and influence the product, you want that team to be part of product, right? Because you want to take that feedback from the community and inject that into the product. That either approach has pros and cons.
Yes.
What I saw working really well is that when DevRel reports to the CEO and they become an independent entity and they have the tools and the resources that marketing has and also the ability to influence product. That's
But
kind of
then-
the sweet spot.
Yeah, but then you need to have a CEO convinced about that.
Well, nothing's perfect. Yeah.
I think that DevRel's function kind of spans all of that. You know, we work with marketing very heavily. We work with product very heavily. We work with engineering very heavily. So to be under like product or marketing, again, what they're after, I've been a part of marketing before. Their KPIs are very different than mine, and they try to influence me to match their KPIs, which takes me out of my authentic zone. You know what I mean? And so I think that's a mistake. Again, report to CEO, CTO. I've reported to a COO, like somewhere that I'm able to freely execute what it is that DevRel needs to, but also work collaboratively with these other departments.
Awesome. Emilio, maybe a question for you. You have a developer-first product, massive community. How do you scale developer engagement and still maintain the authenticity? I mean, something Angie talked a little bit about as well, but like, how do you maintain that?
I think the key to that is the community. Having an open and transparent set of values that enable you to engage authentically with the community. Even a company of our size, we don't scale. You know, we have millions of users out there. We don't have enough people in DevRel. We will never have enough people. So you need to heavily rely on a strong community and people you trust, and they establish that relationship with you to maintain that level of authenticity. And one of the key elements that we have at GitLab, and part of our core values, is that idea of being open and transparent and do everything in the open. That is what helps you drive the scale that you need.
Angie, I had a question for you as well, which you kind of answered already about, but the question was like, what are you not supposed not to do? So it's a little bit of a negative question, but actually as a follow-up as well, within your team, within your department, what is the most relevant metric for you? How do you, well, you said you didn't want to fit into marketing metrics, but what's the metric for you now?
You know, it's really hard to measure, but it's developer satisfaction is important to me. So are they getting what they need in order to use our product and tools? So those are the types of things I measure, like sentiment. I use Common Room a lot to kind of just gather all of the data from all of the various channels, Discord, GitHub, social media, you know, and then gather this feedback and see, like, how are developers feeling? Do they feel neglected, abandoned, ignored? Or do they feel like, wow, the docs are great. There's plenty of demos. I'm equipped to succeed. And so those are the most important types of data points for me. And then I also use that data to influence the product. So I bring this back and say, here's your roadmap. I can tell you what your roadmap should be for next quarter.
Does the product listen?
Yeah, they do.
Lucky you.
Come on, they listen. I mean, if you go
Well,
with good feedback, they listen. But you need to go with insights.
Yeah, this is not my opinion.
Yeah,
Here's
exactly.
the data.
It's the data, and also is what I am collecting from the community. That's the critical role of the developer relations and the developer advocates, that they are in contact with the developer community and they bring that feedback into engineering. So guys, yes, you can define that, but nobody's looking into that. So go ahead.
So I think, just to follow up, Angie, would it be fair to say then this kind of engagement, actually the sentiment of engagement and the feedback on engagement, the most relevant metric for you then, right?
So
I tried to summarize.
Yeah, it's tricky, and I'm a little triggered because my skip boss just asked me about engagement this week.
What did you answer?
I said, well, some of that is vanity metrics. Like, I don't
Yes.
want to talk about the number of clicks or view. Like, those things are relevant, but that's not. It's not giving me what I need, right? So I care more about like, are people consuming this for a substantial amount of time? Are they able to get to the first, you know, what do you call that? The first, what is it called? Huh? Time to wow. Oh, I like that move.
Time to wow.
Time to wow. Like, how quickly can they get to a time to wow, right? I'm going to steal that. Yeah, so things like that. Are they coming back, right? Are they returning for more? Like, those are the types of engagement metrics that I think are more valuable.
Awesome. You want to?
Are you able to track them?
I'm able to track, yeah, like returning users, how long someone has stayed on a document or a blog post to some degree, right?
Yeah, we measure engagement. That is our #1 metric. And we say engagement needs to be an action that the developer take. Can be download a book or do a hands-on lab, whatever, but needs to be an action.
Awesome. Now we've been way past half the time of this panel, and the time has come for questions about AI. Where's someone expected here?
What is AI?
I don't know. I'm here only asking questions. Like, obviously, with AI, the way developers work, the way developers operate is changing a lot. I mean, I'm sure you guys had, in your teams, you had a lot of discussions and adjustments. How is it actually changing how DevRels work and how DevRel is going to be structured within your own companies, but also within, overall DevRel in the future? Easy question.
It's a great question. You didn't send that in advance.
Yeah,
I can start first. So I actually work on AI stuff, so I think about this a lot. But one way is it's helpful that we can basically expand and scale like our content efforts so we can move a lot faster and put out even more content that's helpful for developers, or even analyzing the sentiment and things like that. So it's been very helpful in those regards. However, I often hear like, oh, wow, can we just use AI to replace DevRel or something? Like, it can produce content. Let me tell you, human beings, they are allergic to reading AI content. Like, if I want to read AI content, I go talk to ChatGPT. But if I'm reading your blog post, I want to hear a human voice. And that's what DevRel brings to the conversation, that human aspect. Our job is to build connections with community. AI cannot do that.
It's useful for use cases probably, but not for community building. Right?
That's right.
That's right. The point of DevRel is about creating community and helping developers excel at what they do. AI enables them to do what they are doing faster, better, more efficient. The community aspect will never change. That's a human thing. I think that from a technical enablement standpoint, what we're going to see is that we have another tool in our toolbox that we can use to help developers excel at what they do. There might be changes there in terms of the kind of content that we use, the kind of content that we create. The community aspect isn't going anywhere.
So, Ignacio.
Yeah, I would like to add that right now, I think that the main concern is how we create AI-enabled apps. So I am a Java developer, how I am going to infuse AI into my app and teach me. Okay, because there is so many tools, new ways of thinking, new ways of doing. Also, they need to talk with the data scientist people. It's people that they have never been talking about. So there is a lot of enablement right now needed.
Angie.
I was going to say that's it right there. So we use an AI product. And so in teaching developers this, it goes beyond our product. All developers are learning this at the same time. Like, how do I utilize AI efficiently? So a lot of our content, it might be about our tool, but it's applicable to any AI tool in the market. Like, we're telling you how to vibe code efficiently, how to do these different things. And so it goes beyond the product. I actually got to write a keynote on the plane ride home about this very topic. So thank you for that. But yeah, about like, we're going beyond just our product right now. This is our community, right? Whether I work at Block or somewhere else, these folks are still my community. And what I'm doing right now is teaching them what I'm learning about how to utilize AI in software development.
And we are in early stages. I mean, I compare the same content we were talking about last year. We were starting to talk about launching 4J. This year we are talking about NCP. So the content is evolving so fast that we are not even us, ourselves, able to say, okay, this year what we are going to talk about. So,
Does it make harder within a larger organization than to even set up the, I mean, like other things probably, same with marketing, same with product. Does it make harder to like focus on what's next if you do plannings, exactly you said, like yearly plannings, quarterly plannings? How do you change this pace within DevRel and the company?
Well, you need to be agile, honestly, and I think that's going to be harder for, big companies because of the size of them. Someone said to me that, hey, we're moving from being a quarterly-based company to a weekly-based company, and that's the business we're in, and it is true. It's making things slightly more challenging. It's more fun at the same time.
So strategy in sprints, basically. There you go.
Yeah.
and I think that again, the community plays a key role because suddenly you hear about things from people all over the place that is, have you heard about? Nope, no clue. Okay, how you connect that with that? Let me tell you, this is a guy that you don't know yet, but he's writing the code. And there are a lot of people doing that in the open source community. So you need to be open because people are doing things that you don't even understand why.
Yeah, MCP is a prime example of that. They exploded in Q1, right at the end. So whatever you had planned for Q2, forget it. Everybody needs to get on board with this. And this is not just coming from DevRel. I see the CEOs of the major tech companies on stage saying, yeah, we're going to support MCP. Probably news to their folks back.
I don't know what it is, but we're supporting
exactly,
it.
and that's the point. My point was, okay, and product? No, there is no product. There is code. Nobody is right now productizing it yet, so we are really in early stages. Okay, fine, let's go.
We're building the plane as we fly it.
It sounds like a little bit, also it reminded me when you said like all the, maybe not the same comparison, but you know, financial institutions getting into crypto at some stages or NFTs or like whatever it was.
Yeah,
But,
true.
This is not a scam.
Hopefully it gets better than that.
I hope there are no crypto believers here.
Yeah, but the filter for bullshit in developers is really low. I mean, don't bring me the marketing and stuff. No. Show me the code and I will tell you if
The
this
so-called
is good.
white
That's right.
papers, yeah.
That's right.
I have a bit of a, I don't know if there's an answer, it might be a bit of a controversial. Does anyone here of the 18 people in the audience work in DevRel? Good. Let's see, you're on the right panel. But like, as well, what is one thing about DevRel that you personally believe that maybe some or most of your peers don't believe? We don't have to agree.
I have to say, I was working at Nokia and I was in charge of the ecosystem at Nokia, and I remember the discussion with the product lead. She told me, we are so big, we will build it and they will come. And I was like, no, they will not. You don't understand. It doesn't matter how big you are. You can create the product, whatever product you want. Okay?
Nokia, they had that good phone, right?
Yeah,
It was really
great
popular,
phone.
yeah.
You know the OS, Symbian, you remember that fantastic OS? So yeah, you know where is Symbian now? So because of support of developers, so yes.
So I can make or break companies. That's something that probably a lot of people don't believe.
Yeah.
I think it's true. Angie, do you have something that you disagree with the peers in a community or in a company?
It's kind of funny. I kind of don't want to say it, but so it's top of my mind because we're here. But I don't think DevRel should work the booth.
Okay,
And the
that's
reason,
very good take.
you know, someone came up to me. I stopped by. We had a booth, and I stopped by there. I was talking to some folks, and I started talking dev talk, you know, because I am an engineer, and he was shocked, and it was like, "Wait, are you an engineer?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Usually they don't have the engineers at the booth, right?" So people are expecting to talk to product or marketing types of folks, I think.
Emilio, do you have something?
I mean, in that sense, probably it's a bit conflicting in the sense that I feel that sometimes DevRel knows better in general. When you talk to the product people, is that we know better. Why? Because we know the product in and out. When you talk to engineering, usually they are experts in just one specific area of the product. They don't have the full picture. They don't talk to customers or the developers the way we do. That also applies to marketing. When it comes to marketing, especially in companies like GitLab, where we're extremely focused on developers, we know the audience better than the marketing people, right? And the fact that we sit in the middle makes us unique.
Awesome. We're running out of time, but then don't worry, people. They promised us we can go over for a couple of minutes, so lucky you. Like one question to Ignacio's point, maybe from the beginning. Let's, like a hypothetical scenario, the pendulum swings, DevRel disappears from your company because the CEO wants to sponsor Champions League or whatever.
They want to do more sales.
Yeah,
Normally, that is the main reason.
And what breaks first in your respective companies? Because they're a bit different, all of them. Or what doesn't break, but this is not speaking testament to DevRel, then you have to say something.
So I've seen this happen, right? You kind of say, all right, we don't really need a DevRel function anymore. And I mean, the obvious happens. Your developers go away. Like the satisfaction goes down. The docs are not updated. There's no more demos and tutorials. You all haven't been at a conference in 3 years and everybody has forgotten your product. And then you wonder, oh, what happened?
I think it's adoption within existing customers. That is the first thing that will...
Upselling or just adoption?
Upselling or increasing your footprint into existing customers. That is the first sign you're going to see fairly quickly. New customers will keep coming. Takes a little bit longer for people to see that the sales will slow down. But I feel that's going to be the first red flag for
And
companies.
I don't feel like they connected.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, oh, like they're confused about what happened. I don't feel like they realize the correlation between those things.
Yep.
I always make the analogy that working with developers in DevRel is like going to the gym. Okay, you go to the gym today, doesn't matter. Tomorrow, doesn't matter. Next week, doesn't matter. Okay, don't go to the gym in 20 years. See what happens. Okay,
Yeah.
don't take care of yourself and do the long-term thing 20 years. Then is when you have a problem.
So after this panel, we have your product leaders coming here and sitting and asking some questions. No, but basically, to your point, it's like it's a marathon, not a sprint, pun intended or not. But the idea is that I think what I was wondering as well to that last question, do you think all those things happen that you said happen if DevRel disappears or gets much smaller role, would they immediately realize, oh, that was a huge mistake? Or would it go like, sales, what's happening? Product, what's happening within the respective, not necessarily your company, but any company? Or the CEO would think, oh, or the board or whoever, like, we made a huge mistake. Let's hire back 20, 30, 50, 10, no matter the size of the company, DevRel people? Or would they go like, oh, no, this speaks a little bit probably to the ego of the boardroom. What do you think? How would they react? Would they immediately notice? It was like...
No, I think it'll take, like everything else, it'll take time, right?
Time.
I mean, probably 6 months to a year before they realize,
Yeah.
oh, shoot, we made a mistake.
It's an advisor or consultant or something goes, you need DevRel. And they go, oh, we had that. We got rid of it. Well, there you go.
And then the last tip of advice in my... I was running DevRel at Infobip, left a few months ago. Do not hire McKinsey and other consultants
exactly.
to also give you like DevRel strategies. I apologize if anyone's from McKinsey here.
And you want a funny one? Today I was having a coffee, and the guy in the coffee shop told me, yeah, but this event is going to disappear next year, no? Because all the code is going to be created by AI. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's for sure.
It was fun, guys, while it lasted. I have one more surprise for you, and it's not terrible. I have a game that I like to play on a panel. It's called Underrated, Overrated. Honestly, I stole this in New York a long time ago, but I like it a lot. So I'm going to give you some terms, and then you can just answer underrated or overrated with a concept or a term. So the first one is DevRel sitting in a C-suite. Underrated or overrated?
Over.
Perfectly rated.
Perfectly rated.
Over for me.
Overrated.
Yeah.
Okay. The idea is so we don't agree on everything. I like it. GitHub stars as a metric.
I'm from GitLab, no comment.
Not for me.
Oh,
No?
Over, yeah.
overrated?
Over? I say under.
Nice.
So it's very important for you?
It is.
Okay.
Not very, but it's important. I
We
don't
should
think
talk.
it should be dismissed.
I think this one, my expectations, we might agree on this one, but like the next one is bottom-up community building. Underrated or overrated?
Under.
Critical for me, yeah.
So underrated for all, yes. AI agents.
Under. I work on an
time will
AI
tell.
agent.
Time will tell.
It's going to happen. It's going to be one more of the elements, yeah.
So maybe underrated then.
Yeah.
So this is, I like the game because some things are really important but still overhyped. So in
Yeah.
this case,
Overhyped,
like
Yeah.
open source. sorry, Ignacio.
Underrated.
Just about right.
For us, it's critical.
Yes. Localizing your business to whatever market you go to. Underrated, overrated.
Not for us. No.
So overrated.
Yeah, I mean, we talk with developers. We have developers in Spain working for companies in all over the place. So
It's a good question. I think, yeah, I see your point, but that I still see places, especially Japan, for example, where, I mean, having something localized, understanding the people, the developer, the cultural nuances is critical for the business.
Angie?
Under.
Underrated. Yeah, I've seen, Japan is a good example, seen many companies fail in Japan that,
Yeah.
like global
or China also. There are
China,
very
oh.
specifics.
firewalls. So like, one of the last ones maybe is politics, internal coalitions to push the DevRel agenda within the company. Underrated, overrated. Politics to push DevRel. Underrated, overrated.
Under.
Underrated.
Yeah.
Underrated. That's it. I have one more. The last one is to Ignacio's conversation with a person before. The WeAreDevelopers Conference. Underrated, overrated.
For me, I mean, it's a unique event. You don't have too many events like this one. 15,000 people, people coming from all over the place. No,
Is that the founders are not here? You can speak.
no it doesn't matter. I mean,
This is an amazing event.
It is.
It really is.
Awesome. Thanks. Thank you everyone for coming. Really appreciate it for this last session of the last day of the conference. See you next year, maybe. Thank you so much to the panelists.